Perhaps one of the reasons you chose the tuba is that you love playing low notes and you don't particularly like playing high notes. That's understandable, but you still need to play high notes sometimes. This etude requires us to do some octave jumps in bars 40 and 41, and it's not that high. I mean, it just takes you up to an A in bar 41. I think the highest note in this piece is a B flat in 48, which is not that high. But some tuba players really struggle with that register because they're not used to using high register air pressure. It's just a different feeling. It's not going to have that same sort of mega flow feeling that playing in the middle and low register has. In order to play high notes well, you have to be able to generate a high amount of air pressure inside your body. Now, I am not talking about mouthpiece pressure. I'm not talking about jamming the mouthpiece into your lips really tightly to try and hit the high note. I'm talking about generating what if you want to say it in a really fancy way, you have to generate a high level of intraoral air pressure. That's the air pressure inside your body has to be higher for high notes. And some tuba players just aren't used to doing that. You can totally do it, but you're just not used to it, so you kind of freak out once you get above like F in the middle of the staff. I want to try and make you more comfortable with that. I'm going to use these octave leaps in bar 40 and 41 as an example. Whenever we go up one octave, exactly one octave, assuming we're staying the same dynamic, we need to basically double the amount of air pressure inside our bodies. So in bar 40, we've got a G flat and then a leap up to the next octave. When I did that, the air pressure inside my body essentially doubled when I went an octave higher. The same thing for bar 41, except we're going high, low, high, but it's the same idea. What I want you to imagine, if you're someone who struggles with that register, I want you to imagine in bar 40 that when you play that low G flat, you're kind of like, boom, I think that's G flat, boom, dun, and then when you go up the octave, dun, 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 you're probably wondering, what is he doing with his left hand? This is my imaginary air pressure gauge that measures the amount of air pressure inside my body. Dun, 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 dun. So that can be a useful visual for you so that you don't feel like you're just like, oh God, I'm just straining to hit this high note. What you want to be trying to do is make this dun, 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 dun. Have this understanding that you double the amount of air pressure when you go up an octave. And that holds true no matter what register you're in. If you're going from a low C to a middle C, if you're going up an octave, you double the amount of air pressure inside your body to generate that. Conversely, when you go down an octave, obviously it cuts the amount of air pressure in half. That doesn't mean that you all of a sudden become lazy. What it means is when you go down an octave, you double the amount of air flow, essentially. It's kind of a trade-off. It's inversely proportional. As you go higher, notes require more air pressure, and as you go lower, notes require more air flow. But you always need to be sending the air, and you just have to make sure you're doing the right thing with that air. One little quick hint for you. As you go to play higher, the reason why it's harder to play those high notes and generate the amount of air pressure, it's not because you have weak muscles down here. Your muscles are plenty strong in your abdomen for pushing out air. The problem is our embouchure isn't developed well enough to be able to maintain that amount of high air pressure inside our body. If our embouchure isn't well developed and the muscles are weak, this is what's going to happen. You're going to fall off the high note because you weren't able to keep the walls of your intraoral cavity firm enough to maintain that air pressure. In order for me to maintain that amount of air pressure, I have to keep my lips fairly firm. I'm saying firm, not tight, because we don't want to get a tight sound. So we want to think of it as firmness. If you're not in good shape, this is what's going to happen. And this has happened to all of us on a high note at one time or another. We fall off the note. Maybe we hit the high note, but we just can't keep our lips firm enough for the duration of the note. So the lips loosen, the air pressure escapes, the air pressure goes down, the pitch goes down. So anyways, that was a long-winded, no pun intended, a long-winded explanation of the kind of air pressure that you need to use for the high register. I hope that's helpful for you.